Well, good morning, Seoul. Welcome to the morning show. Today,
Morning.
you see, I have a special guest. Behind the mask is Chrissy, one of our leaders of the steering committee, and welcome, Chrissy.
Thank you.
This is your first time here.
This is my first time on the morning show.
Yeah, and I am glad that you are. You actually are here representing the steering committee.
That's right.
Yes, and we met on Monday of last week to discuss and decide our reentry plan,
That's right.
which was for October 18th, the first Sunday after Thanksgiving, and then something happened.
Yeah, so we're in Code Orange now here in the city of Winnipeg.
Now, in case you don't know, Chrissy is actually in the medical field, as are a number of our steering committee members, and we have taken great care as a staff to put together a plan for people's protection, correct?
That's right.
So this is not a question of whether you think the virus is real or fake or mask, anti-mask. We don't really care. We're just going according to government regulations.
That's right. We want to be respectful of the situation. We want to be respectful of the government and the guidelines that they've given to us.
Right. And so right now, as Code Orange, the guideline is everybody has to wear a mask in a public place. And that's why today we are looking pretty. Your mask is much more prettier than that. I was going to wear my black one, but that's a little bit loose, and I thought I should keep it tight because it's interesting because yesterday I got to play hockey. And it was, for me, fabulous. I've been waiting months to do this. And somebody, posted on my social media, you can play hockey in Code Orange. And the answer is yes. And so what I really appreciated about Canland Sports is where the arena that I played, we had to fill out a questionnaire before you came in online. And it was very detailed as to what team you're playing for, what ice surface you're on, who's responsible, all that kind of stuff, your phone number. And then when you showed up, you had to go in through a certain door. You had to make sure that you were wearing a mask, and then you had to follow the procedure. And it was interesting because, I don't know if you play sports or hockey or anything like that, but for me, this is when we got into the dressing room, I actually had more room now in the dressing room than I've ever did before, which is absolutely fabulous.
More space for all your stuff.
For all my stuff, and trust me, my stuff's all over the place. And then we entered onto the ice. The benches were bigger. Play was similar. It was just good. It was very good. It was very well done. We exited the exact same way. I had to walk around the building to go back to my car because I exited out a different door that we entered. So they had this protocol. And we followed this protocol in order to enjoy something. Yesterday, Propel Women were supposed to meet here at Seoul, and unfortunately, they couldn't because they fell that our women's group falls in a different guideline, I guess it would be.
Yeah, so they're not, a church
A formal
gathering.
worship service.
That's right.
Or a gathering. We call it gathering, right?
That's right.
So it's a subsidiary. And so because there was more than 10 people, they actually had to meet on Zoom. This is all part of the government mandate, and it's very confusing. But we have somebody in our office named Allison who is fabulous. She is on top of this stuff. So she is always able to answer the questions that we have. But our youth can meet, and they did on Friday night because they follow a certain protocol, and they are also, I think, called...
so they fall under day camps.
That's it.
That's right.
Day camps.
Yeah, so there's different public health guidelines for different groups, basically.
Right.
That help give us guidance.
And so again, our Andrew and Piper and the rest of the team, they're just on top of protocol and stuff so that our kids can come back together. And so that brings us to us. October 18th. We have a plan. However, we met together on Monday, and what was the decision that the steering committee came down to?
Yeah, so we decided to wait. Like Pastor Gerry said, we can meet.
Yeah. Legally, we could get together if we wanted.
We can meet on October 18th, and we have guidelines in place. Our plan would work. We'd be able to do it, and we wouldn't be contravening anything that the government has set out. But we decided it was wise to wait. We're currently...
2 weeks.
wait 2 weeks until November 1st.
Right,
Yeah.
which would technically be the end of the orange mandate.
Hopefully.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah.
We'll be able to see the numbers, but regardless, we're still able to be ready to go.
That's right.
And so we do have a plan. First of all, you would have to register online, right?
Yeah.
We'll go to two gatherings, the 909 and the 1111, but the 909 will be different from the 1111. The 909 will have kids ministry. The 1111 will not. So if you register for the 909, you'll be entering into one of two doors.
That's
Right? The door on the left, and in the next couple of weeks to come, we'll be having the signs out. They're all being printed right now. We'll be able to show you. We'll be doing videos here so that people have a very clear picture of what it's going to look like. But if let's say you and your family want to come, you would come through the left doors in the front, and you register your family, register your children, but then your children would go upstairs by themselves. You won't take them. If you have to take your child upstairs, which would be from 5 and up, then we have a certain protocol that you'll have to follow, which would also mean leaving the building and then re-entering the building.
Yeah.
Because that's just the mandate.
So the idea is, of course, we know that being close to other people is a risk factor for spreading this. So, our gatherings are going to look different than they did before, right? So we're not going to have people hanging out together in the lobby. It's really going to be streamlined so that when you come in, if you're not bringing kids, you're going to be brought in through that right-hand door, and then you're going to be coming around to the far doors to the sanctuary underneath the stairs and being brought to your seat. So, and then on the contrary, if you have kids, they're going to go on the opposite side. You're going to drop them off and then go around.
Then
to
you
the
actually
gym
merge
door.
into the other line.
That's right.
So it's very simple. It's very easy. Again, masks will be mandatory. There's no ands, if, or buts. You'll have to wear a mask, and you'll have to wear it properly. And in case you don't know how to wear a mask properly, go to my social media. You'll find a video on there. And actually, your daughter did one. I tried to share it off your social media, but it wouldn't allow me.
Oh, wouldn't let you? Yeah,
but your
so
daughter did a mask.
both of them.
Yeah.
Our two girls did it at school. They did little videos on how to wash your hands, how to put on your mask, make sure you're using the ear loops to put it on and
Right,
off,
right.
make sure you're covering your nose and your mouth.
Because 80% of what we breathe goes through our nose, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So, also regarding sanitizing, there are sanitizing stations throughout the building. What was the steering committee's consensus about the sanitizing?
So we know that this virus spreads through droplets and that we can prevent that spread if we wash our hands.
Mm-hmm.
So when you come into the building, we'd like you to clean your hands. There'll be hand sanitizer available. If someone can't use that hand sanitizer, they can go straight through to the bathroom and wash their hands with soap and water.
Yep.
So it is requested that you do that when you come into the building.
Yep.
And the kids will be asked the same when they go up to Soul Kids.
Yep.
And so we want to, and also we're going to be sanitizing the building in between services.
Yes.
Right. So you mentioned there'll be 2 gatherings. So the 909 gathering will be
About 1 hour long.
1 hour long.
Because of the kids ministry, we don't want the kids to go crazy and our servant leaders to go crazy either. So it's actually going to just be really streamlined. It's just going to have worship and the word.
Yep.
But then the 11 will be what we normally have without the coffee break.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we're not going to do coffee. But it's just going to be a little bit more prolonged, more of a real gathering feel. So my suggestion is if you don't have young kids involved in kids ministry, come to the 1111 and enjoy it. But most importantly, there's also the live stream. Mm-hmm. So when the survey that we sent out, 50% of our people felt comfortable coming, providing that we had a procedure in place. The other 50% said, look, I'm not ready to come yet. I'm going to watch online. And so we are still doing live stream, but your live stream will change to the 1111. And there's a reason for that. During this opportunity of COVID, we were able to purchase a brand new soundboard. With that soundboard, we're now able to do an effective live stream mix. So our music that we do live here at Soul will be live to you at the 1111. So we want you to have the full experience, but it's going to be at 1111 instead of 909. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a great point, is just because we're starting gatherings in person, it certainly doesn't mean that people need to feel they have to come in person.
Right.
So for those who still wish to join us and worship together at home, the live stream's still going to be available. And of course, we are, as Pastor Gerry mentioned, you need to sign up for coming to the services because there are a limited number of spaces that we can safely accommodate in person.
Yeah, and I think the number that we set out available is going to be 150. Mm-hmm. And so, again, you can do the math on how that's going to work out. But If somebody was to walk up, you don't necessarily have a guarantee that you're going to be able to walk into the building.
That's right. So we'd
So-
have to look at how many spaces have been
Yep.
allocated already by online sign up and what's
Yeah.
available. So
Make it easy and just sign up.
yeah.
Is it a hassle? Yes. Just make it easy and let's just do it together
Yeah.
because we're all in this together. And again, your personal opinion regarding this whole thing is secondary to us coming together.
And I guess the other thing is just because you sign up, say you develop a runny nose or your kid develops a cough the morning, you don't have to come. Just because you've
but
reserved
you
that
will
spot.
be asked prior to coming to all these specific questions.
Yep.
And without question, take it from me, if you're sick or one of your members of your family unit is sick, don't come. Don't come. And just be cautious because we don't want to be able to infect anybody else.
That's right.
I take this very seriously. I said this to the steering committee. The spiritual well-being of our church is my responsibility, but the physical well-being in this case is as well. It rests on my shoulders. And so I feel a very strong responsibility that we need to ensure the best safety protocol for our families and friends as possible.
That's right. Yeah, these are hard times for everybody, and I think it's great that we're able to do some of what we were doing before March, right?
Yeah.
But we're doing it differently because these are the times that we're in now. And by having these precautions, it's a way that we're caring for each other, we're loving each other, we're loving those in our community who may be older or who may have medical conditions that make them susceptible to getting more sick. So this is our way of loving the community.
Yeah, without question. Putting other people ahead of our own. And I think I'm with you on that 100%. And so, watch what we have coming. And if you do have questions after we start putting out videos, you feel free to contact the office. We can walk people through any and all of those things. Now, today is also a very, I don't want to know, is it important or is it memorable? It's memorable for me. I'm going to see if it's memorable for you. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
Let me think. What's the date today? October 4th?
No, I think so.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It's not ringing any bells.
Okay, well, you sit there and you watch this.
I know what it is.
Tell
know
me.
what it is.
No, watch.
Yeah. Wow, 1 year ago.
My parents were both born in Malaysia. My dad, around what he thinks is about the age of 3, his mom had to leave because she was diagnosed with leprosy. She brought him to the local orphanage. It was actually an Anglican girls' school. Something that we found out maybe about 10 years ago was that my dad was basically sponsored. It's amazing because what they did gave my dad opportunity, right? He was able to live, survive. He was able to come over to Canada, able to have a career here, able to support his kids. The impact that has decades and decades down the road that you may never even know, right? The impact that you have. Her smile is quite something. Just to see that smile and the look on her face, she genuinely looks really excited. I just look at her face and I wonder what she's thinking. She said she chose us because her family is a family of 5 and we're a family of 5. And our kids thought that was really cool. And I think about my dad and the opportunities that can come from a kid who ends up sponsored, ends up fed, ends up having their health taken care of, being educated, and the impacts of that down the road. So, I mean, how can you say no, right?
Wow, a year flies by.
Yeah, a year ago we did Chosen with World Vision.
Yeah.
1 year ago, I went on a plane. I think it was like 43 hours. By the time we finally got to Kenya, got out, did this thing. These kids chose you. We came back and we celebrated. What goes through your mind when you saw that?
Wow, it's amazing. It's still emotional to watch. It still really touches my heart. And I don't know. I like I said, a year flies by, but it reminds you how important it is to remember these things, right? To remember. I think back to my dad, and that's something that I always have to go back to in my own heart and in my own brain. Just my dad always says to me, "Remember where you came from."
Oh yeah.
And it's really important, I think, because it's easy to forget and to take for granted all that's around us,
Yeah.
and forget the blessings that God has given to us and the ways that He has come and intervened in our lives and done amazing things.
Yeah.
And we get updates on Esther from Taveta, and we see what's happening with her and her community, and get the opportunity to send her letters, and it's great.
Well, today is a special day. It's our World Vision Celebration Day. And so you're going to see a lot of different videos. We showed Chrissy's video before. I wanted to surprise you today.
Surprise.
I'm sorry, but I just wanted to surprise you because I think that for me, it's like you say, you don't forget. You don't forget. And I have a relationship with Pastor Benson, who's one of the pastors in Taveta. Today is filled with videos. Today we have a very special speaker. And I'm excited about today. But most importantly, I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that we as the leadership of the church have made a decision and made a plan. Mark on your calendar November 1st. Be ready to sign up if you're going to come. And if you're not, remember the live stream gathering is going to go to 11:11, and it's going to be live. So the singing will be live. The preaching will be live, and maybe you'll see some people. I'm not quite sure, but they'll be spread out nonetheless. So even our whole seating plan is all set up and ready for people to go. So
That's right.
we're all excited about that. With all that being said, grab your coffee, get ready. Maybe grab a Kleenex box. That might be appropriate for some. And be prepared for a challenge from our speaker, and we'll talk to you later. See ya.
Bye.